Today we're gonna give you a little bit of insight on one of the resorts that we stayed at while on vacation at Turks and Caicos at the Grace Bay Club. So,
stay tuned.
See you soon, Turks. So we finally get to Turks and we feel super refreshed because we had that extra day in Miami, which was really awesome. Highly recommend. And it's very island vibes.
Super friendly.
Super
They actually
friendly.
came and found us.
Yeah, it was one of the best experiences. Every party has their own concierge at the airport and they escort you to they got us to our shuttle. Then we went to our first resort, and the first resort that we went to was
Grace Bay Club.
Pulling up. The curb appeal was really beautiful. You have this beautiful reception area. They don't even want you to stand at the reception area. They told us to go sit.
Bring us drinks.
They brought us rum punch. I mean, you can get just punch, but rum punch. I love when hotels and resorts do that, when they bring you a drink and they offer you refreshments and they have you sit and they bring everything to you to sign while you're sitting.
Also, they really took initiative and just handled the luggage, because you had a lot of luggage.
Oh, we had tons of luggage.
So they were really good about that, just taking all of that off our hands.
I love when hotels and resorts do that.
As we talk about some of the other properties,
they didn't really do the same thing. Grace Bay Club, they really hit the mark. They knew how to welcome in a guest, and they did a great job on it.
Intro, first impressions, welcome, I would say I would give them a 10.
I would give them a 10 for sure. I love that they walked us to our room. It was really nice. They walked us all the way in, and the first thing we did was we screamed like little schoolgirls. So we got the 2-bedroom suite.
Yeah.
And it was litty.
Which is our first time, by the way.
Yeah, usually when we go on vacation, we just get separate rooms.
Yeah, but close by.
But I think from now on, we're always going to get the 2-bedroom suite.
Yeah, it was a game changer.
So much better. It has a living room, a kitchen, a dining area. And the bedrooms were kind of far from each other. They weren't super close, which was nice because you do want your
a little privacy.
I need a little privacy, honey. I don't want to be, I don't know what I might be doing something. You might be doing something. I don't know. We need some space. Okay, our little. This is a hotel room, and I can't even believe this is a hotel room because it is so huge. We have our own balcony, eating area, 2 bedrooms. This is the master. This is the master bathroom. Walk-in closets over there. Bathtub. Yeah, we ran out to the terrace. The view.
Breathtaking.
Stunning.
The placement of our room was perfect.
Right.
In the center of.
I loved it. It was perfect. We had the best view. The rooms, they were super spacious. I love having a lot of space because again, I travel with a lot of stuff. And I don't ever want to feel like I'm living out of my suitcase. I love when things can be kind of put away. And
Priscilla's really funny when we travel because she loves to fully unpack and hang everything up and really take full advantage of these closets.
I do. I hang everything up.
She really moves in.
I move in. I have to, or else I'll feel I don't want to be last minute scatterbrain, just throwing my things everywhere and living out of a suitcase.
Right, we're opposites in that way because I feel like if we're only going to be there for a few days, why am I going to fully unpack? So I tend to live out of my suitcase a little bit more, but Priscilla, every time I feel like I walk into your room, you're going through her wardrobe, her closet, it's all, everything's hung up. I'm she's really moving in.
There's 2 kinds of people in this world. First of all, let's talk about that balcony.
That was the best part of the room.
The best part was the balcony. 10 out of 10.
Hands down.
Stunning balcony. We wanted to stay out there day and night. And it didn't feel like people were staring at you.
Lots of privacy.
Lots of privacy.
Even though it was really open, it was still private.
Super spacious. I felt like there was a table out there where you could eat. There was 3 or 4 lounge chairs. It was huge. I think the room itself, I would probably give it a 9.
Layout and the balcony was my favorite part. I think I would give it probably an 8.5.
Okay, that's fair. He's a little critical.
I gotta kind of save a little something for, give these people something to work for.
Okay. Let's talk about the pool. I didn't really go to the pool at that resort. Did you? And what did you think?
I loved it. Well, I also am a big fan of like night swimming.
He would go night swimming and I would knock out at
And
night.
I also love when there's like no humans around. Like I have the whole pool to myself. I have the whole beach to myself. I have the whole property to myself. So that is actually like my favorite thing to do. The pool was pretty amazing. It was, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love a heated pool.
Yeah, it was long enough we could do laps if that's what you were into.
Okay.
I did a couple backstrokes.
And it had a jacuzzi. They had a jacuzzi.
They certainly did. I was having like a whole jacuzzi Elwoods moment. College video essay. I would give the pool probably like also an 8.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. So you guys know I'm a foodie. I love food and I'm very particular on food. And I guess I would have to say that the food overall in Turks and Caicos was a little underwhelming. Now the food at this particular resort I felt was like okay. I did have a couple of dishes by the pool that I was obsessed with. They had conch ceviche and I felt like it was so bomb. So the first meal that we had at the resort was actually lunch. We actually went to the beach, had a really beautiful swim, and then we went to Infinity Bar and Grill. The presentation was okay, it was nice. And we ordered a bunch of different like tapas and appetizers. And when the food came...
Okay, and let's just kind of be honest also. There was a kind of an issue when we were eating our food.
What? What? Say it.
All the black flies.
No, like a swarm. I was like, what in the world? It
Yeah.
was crazy.
We couldn't even like...
shoo them. And I feel like one of the restaurants that we went to later in the trip that we'll talk about later, they saw that we were struggling with the flies and we were like covering our plates with napkins. They actually brought out a candle that was like, I guess it's a special candle that like shoos the flies away, and it helped. So I, just looking back, wish that the resorts
would provide that.
would provide those candles at all the tables, at all the restaurants we ate at, because it would have saved so much. So food-wise,
Food's like...
it was underwhelming.
Yeah.
And we're foodies, we love food. I feel like that's one of the things that we enjoy when we travel the most, is eating different types of food from different countries and really experiencing that culinary art that's within the food. I feel like we really thrive off that.
I would probably rate food-wise at the resort maybe like a 7.
And I would give it like a 5.5. Very mediocre.
Okay. Damn.
See, I don't be giving out those tans like Sammy says. I gave a 5.5. So that same night we went to dinner at the restaurant. It was kind of like their more upscale restaurant. First impressions, the ambiance was beautiful. I felt like they lit it up really nice and everything was outdoors and there was like a nice breeze. They had nice music. It was just a really, really beautiful experience. Customer service wise, I feel like the customer service at the restaurant was mediocre. I felt like they weren't as courteous as we're used to. They weren't rude, but they weren't warm either or welcoming. Obviously, going into Turks, I've seen a lot of other travel blogs and I knew that customer service was going to be slower than we're used to. We knew that going in, and that's what we expected. We weren't expecting like quick service. You almost didn't want to ask for anything. And I remember at one point, Sammy had asked for a drink menu and the server was like, I am the drink menu. And we were like, okay. It was just a little standoffish, I guess. And I wasn't expecting that. I mean, we laughed it off because we like read the room and we're not gonna be like confrontational about it. For most people who aren't as understanding as we are, I would think that they would get really offended by that.
Yeah, or they'd be uncomfortable.
For sure. We do crazy things. We like to order almost everything on the menu, which we actually did at this restaurant.
First of all, we're in a group, so like
right.
we share
everything. There's a group of 4 and we
right.
share everything.
And then there's one of our travel companions who, I mean,
he eats a lot.
Yeah, so I feel like
he's a never ending.
We never waste food.
Never. So that night was seafood night.
And we love seafood.
Oh my God, we love seafood.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, for sure we're going there.
Yeah.
And it was about maybe like 7 or 8 things on the menu.
I remember the food just being really kind of bland and underwhelming.
The concept was really great. Like I ordered a conch stew, which was gonna almost be kind of like a clam chowder, but a conch chowder. And when I saw it, I got so excited, and it came with like this like cornbread almost, and I was like, oh my God, that's gonna be delicious. And it was okay. I just felt like the execution wasn't the best. I felt like they put a lot of salt in the food, and I think that was their way of flavoring it instead of really seasoning it and putting love into it. You know, it's like, I love to cook, and so does Sammy, and we know when we cook and we want something to taste good, we put love in it. We put seasoning into it, we put thyme into it.
Put that whole foot.
We put that whole foot, the elbow, the whole body, honey. And it just felt like
that love was missing.
I felt like there was no love in the food. It was just very bland and overly salty.
Yeah.
I went in already knowing that the food was going to be at a higher price, and I have no problem in paying for good quality food. But when the food is underwhelming and then the price is really high, it almost makes you feel uncomfortable, I guess.
The quality didn't match the price point, but I will say also for people who are a little bit more like health conscious, like it is a little challenging finding healthy options also on the menu.
We have a vegan traveling with us, and I felt like it was really hard for that person to really find good food. They did have a vegetarian menu. I remember asking the waitress for it, and her response was like, well, it's at the other restaurant. Do you really want it? Because if you really want it, I have to walk all the way over there and get it and bring it back. So do you really want it? And we were like, I mean, I don't want to trouble you. Like, it almost made us feel like we don't want to ask you to go out of your way.
We don't want to burden you, but at the same time, like,
yeah, he needs to eat, because if he doesn't see the menu, he's not going to eat anything because he only eats vegan.
Yeah. Okay, so just to wrap it up, I would say atmosphere, like a 9.
Okay, atmosphere, I give it a 9. It was beautiful. Right in front of the beach, beautiful breeze coming through, lit up great. It was just the pool area. It was beautiful. Although the pool was making like a flushing noise.
Oh yeah, that was. Let me take a point off of that. You're right. There was like a good like gurgle or something happening.
Pool,
constantly
exactly.
flushing.
Someone was constantly flushing a toilet behind us. You guys can't beat us up for being critical. This is why you're watching this. You guys want to know.
We're just keeping it real.
We have to keep it real.
Okay, so the atmosphere, like aesthetically,
yes,
I would give it a 9.
Yes.
The audio of the atmosphere.
You have to include it.
Wait, hold on. But like the sound of the waves crashing, like.
Oh, okay. So that kind of overrides it.
Right. Okay. So that's great. But then
I still give it a 9.
You get like the occasional flush.
It wasn't that bad.
Right. It wasn't.
It wasn't. You can tune it out. The waves overpowered it.
Okay. So I give it like an 8.5. Okay. Food quality.
5.
Yeah. Like I would say like a 5.5. Damn.
Harsh facts.
True.
So breakfast buffet at Grace Bay was okay. It was like a standard breakfast buffet, and they had like all the standard stuff like eggs, bacon, sausage, oatmeal, fruits. They didn't have the best options for vegans and vegetarians, but it was okay. You
could make it work.
Right. And I think overall I would probably give Grace Bay Club's breakfast buffet, I would say like a 7.5.
Yeah, and I would say like just the view of being on the beach and again looking at the ocean and having breakfast with like your group, it was kind of really, really magical. Food wise, I would probably give it like a 6.5, 6.5, but overall with the view and just the experience, I would probably give it more of like an 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first day on the beach, we get to the beach, we're super excited. It is stunning. I mean,
honestly, the most beautiful beach you probably have ever seen in your life.
My whole life, I've never seen something like that. It was just, the water was so turquoise blue, the sand was so pure white, and their beach there is so clean. There was not one piece of trash on the beach. They keep it super clean. They're really on it. So we get to the beach is beautiful, we can't wait, and there's like all these like chair areas with like umbrellas, and basically
where servers come up to you.
Our servers come up to you and they like put towels on your chairs for you, and they'll bring you a menu so you can order drinks. So we're standing there and we're kind of waiting for someone to come over so they can get us started. And so finally the server approaches us and he's like, hi, what's your room number? And we were like, oh, 206. And he was like, A, B, C, like that, really rude. And we were like, or like we just got there, like we didn't know that there were like
letters
for each room. So then we like open up our key cards like all frantically, and we see that there's a letter, so that it was like B206.
Yeah, he like rolled his eyes.
And he rolled his eyes, and we were like, damn.
Like we didn't know there were actually different buildings.
Right, the way he said it was just really off-putting.
The beach itself is Grace Bay Beach, which is probably the most famous beach on Turks. It really is like the ideal Turks beach. The beach itself is public on the resort. The chairs and where the servers, you know, come and provide service, that's the resort side. So it's a public beach, but
you get your privacy. I would rate the beach probably, I would give it a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9 only because the sand at that particular beach was very deep, and I have short stumpy legs. So he had to literally like hold me while I was like stumbling down the
not
white
short
beach.
and stumpy.
Not short and stumpy.
The water itself is like crystal clear. It's the most pristine beach you've ever seen. You can see like fish swimming and like, you know, marine life. It's gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
And then swimming with your bestie, it's just like the cherry on the sundae. Okay, so we stayed at room
B206,
which we highly recommend because on the second level, you have like a more elevated view of the water, which I recommend. The only con of B206 would be that because you're in the center of the property, there is live music at night near the restaurant, which, you know, your balcony overlooks. So if you're somebody that does not like a lot of noise or music, I would avoid being in the B building. I would recommend being further out towards like the end of the property.
But when you're on vacation, I do have to say the music that they play is actually really soothing. They had like live saxophone artists, and they were like remaking all these amazing like jams, and we were like, oh yeah, it was like giving a mood, a vibe. Like it wasn't like distracting loud oomph oomph oomph
No,
music.
yeah, we were into it.
So overall experience at the Grace Bay Club, I would have to say I give it a 9.
Overall, I would say probably like an 8.5.
Yeah, the strongest elements of Grace Bay Club was definitely the view, the room,
The beach.
the comfort that we felt, even just the welcoming alone. I am so thankful for those welcomes, especially experiencing other resorts at Turks, and the welcomes were just completely different. The welcome to me was everything. It just made you feel like, okay, I'm home, you know? Just all those little things that they do for you when you first get there, to me, it's everything.
Yeah, and I feel like we would definitely come back.
Absolutely come back.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay in a room that's spacious, it has a great view, it's centered perfectly, B206. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ono Traveling.
And if you have any questions with our trip to Turks and Caicos, please let us know
In the comments below.